The water is boiling! What do we do?
Look at this image. A clear sky, the sun hitting the water, and that quiet Tuesday morning rhythm in Ishinomaki. It's the kind of scene you see and think the world is in perfect order. People were out there, living their lives, with no idea the clock had already started ticking. There were people out for a bike ride on the coast, neighbors swapping good mornings while sweeping their porches, and fishermen at the docks doing what they've done for decades. It was all so normal that it hurts to think about what happened just minutes later. We have this habit of assuming safety is guaranteed, but the truth is, the ground we walk on is much more fragile than it seems. Can you imagine what was going through their heads? Maybe someone was complaining about the price of coffee or worried about a work meeting. Meanwhile, miles below all that blue, the Earth's crust decided it was time to move. It was a sharp, brutal shift. A massive crack opening at the bottom of the ocean, spitting out mud and gas, pushing trillions of tons of water upward all at once. And out here on the surface, the warning didn't come with the sound of an explosion. It came with an unsettling silence. The birds were the first to realize the game had changed. They vanished from the sky. Suddenly, that light beach breeze just stopped. And what happened next was bone-chilling. The sea started to disappear. Imagine standing on the sand and watching the water pull away, receding hundreds of yards, revealing a seafloor that no one had ever seen. Fish flopping in the mud, boats tipped on their sides, and a void where the ocean used to be. A lot of people stopped to look out of curiosity. Little did they know that was the last breath of tranquility. The sea wasn't leaving on its own. It was just catching its breath for the attack. And then the sound started. Not the sound of water, but the sirens. That mechanical wail that ties your stomach in knots. It's a noise that doesn't let you think. It only tells you one thing: run. Reality hit everyone in Ishinomaki at the exact same time. The fun was over. The beach volleyball, the tourist photos, the laughter. It all went up in smoke. Panic isn't like in the movies. It's messy. It's people running in every direction, the sound of tires screeching on the asphalt, and the screams of parents desperately trying to find their kids in the middle of the crowd. Out on the horizon, that beautiful line between the sky and the sea had been replaced by a filthy gray wall. It wasn't a wave to surf. It was a mountain of darkness advancing at hundreds of miles per hour. And the sky, as if matching the mood, closed in an ocean of shadows. Lightning began to streak through heavy clouds, and low thunder sounded like the growl of a giant animal closing in on its prey. When the water hit the city, the impact was deafening. A tsunami doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't break things the way we imagine. It simply rolls over them, grinding everything in its path. Cars, trucks, wooden houses. Everything became a heap of floating debris. Shipping containers from the port, weighing tons, began to float as if they were made of styrofoam, slamming into buildings and tearing them down. The water wasn't clean. It was a black soup of oil, mud, and everything the city had built over years. Look at these aerial images. It's surreal to see how entire streets vanished in seconds. Water surged into buildings, shattered windows, and turned garages into traps. There were no heroes in that moment, only raw survival. People clinging to poles, trying to climb onto rooftops while the current roared just below, carrying away entire houses with the lights still on. It's a scene out of a nightmare, but it was the reality for Ishinomaki. The noise was what hammered into your head the most. The sound of concrete being crushed, metal being twisted, and the constant roar of water that wouldn't stop advancing. The rain fell cold, mixed with the salty sea spray, and darkness took over everything when the power grid exploded in blue sparks before going out for good. In that instant, Ishinomaki stopped being a city and became a war zone between man and the planet. What we're going to follow here is exactly that journey. The before, the during, and what was left after the giant decided to leave. It's a heavy reminder that we live on a living planet, and that this place sometimes decides to show who's really in charge. It's hard to watch, I know, but it's necessary to understand what happens when nature decides to reclaim its space. Follow every detail of this sequence, from how a perfect day turned into the greatest fight for life these people ever faced. An important notice: All images and the narrative in this video were created by artificial intelligence. This is an artistic and visual simulation project to show the impact of a disaster in Ishinomaki, and does not represent footage of real events.
The wave has completely overwhelmed the coastal defenses. We are watching entire neighborhoods disappear beneath.
Grab the cable now! Oh, I'm trying. Give me your hand quickly, we'll get you to safety. Okay, easy now. Watch your step coming in. Help us! Over here! We're on the roof! Send help! Secure the airlock on tent 3. We need power to the ventilation system immediately.
こちらがレスキュー艇。生存者のカット割りだ。A 地点に集合せよ。モブですね。どうぞ出しょ
ありがとうございますね。温まりますね。